Hello everybody, welcome to another DIY session. My name is Wesley, I'll be leading you through. Welcome back to those of you who have been subscribers, to any new subscribers. Welcome, we're so excited to have you here. We have a very fun palette for you. We can just start right off. We have a lot of bright colors continuing in with that. Like I've said, summer is the time to bring in the color, really gorgeous, saturated, different shades for you. So we'll start with the greenery then. We have Italian Pizziporum here, a really gorgeous two-toned greenery. We have Salal, which is our tried and true. We use this all the time, just gives you a lot of coverage. Gonna be really great for us. We have really fun fountain grass. So this is gonna be a really gorgeous accent to kind of add in some texture into our arrangement. And that is gonna be our greenery. We'll move on to our stems for today. We have really gorgeous spray rose in a nice peach tone that's gonna work really well with another focal. We have free spirit roses. This is one of my personal favorites. I love the two-toned feel of this, the orange kind of going into the pink tones are really stunning, and use them all the time in the studio, so hopefully you'll love those. We have Dianthus, Green Trick. These are really fun as well, a lot of texture. And then finally we have Hypericum berries. These are gonna match the peach really well, add some dimension as well, really stunning. So we have a super fun palette and we can hop right into it then. So as always, gonna start with our greens. I'm going to be doing the handheld technique for you all today. So gonna start off by making a fist. We're gonna start with the Salal just because this is gonna give you a really strong foundation for your arrangement. And we're gonna start by trimming this down. So you're gonna cut about pieces up to here. If you see with the piece I already had cut about there, and we're gonna start putting together almost like a hand-tied bouquet. Start feeding in the stems through your hand. And again, you're creating essentially a gridlock for your floral to go into so that when you start putting in the stems, it's really sturdy. They kind of stay where you want them to be. I'm gonna continue cutting this down. Give it a trim. Continue feeding that through. A couple more stems then. If you have any twigs or anything like that, you can always trim that down. Any leaves that you want to trim off, you can take those off as well, no worries. Strip this down, feed that through. That's gonna be our lovely Salal base then. So I'm gonna move right on to the Italian pit then. This is a little bit of an intimidating branch, but don't be worried about it. It's gonna be a similar process. You're gonna start trimming this down and then feeding it through your Salal base. You're gonna start to feel a little bit of pressure against your hand, which is great because that means that you're creating a really solid base. Now you wanna come in at different angles like that. Like I said, kind of creating like a hand-tied effect to it. Trim that down, come through. I'm gonna come through here since we need some volume. This is a really gorgeous greenery, so I'm gonna kind of trail it off so it sticks out. And then I'm gonna cut right here, our last little piece. Feed that through, and boom, we have a lovely two different types of greenery. I actually think I'm gonna wait to add this fountain grass a little bit because I think we have a strong foundation here. I'm gonna add that in towards the end so you can really see it. So let me give this a trim. Always remember, you can always go shorter. So I'm gonna lean on the side of being a little bit longer and then I can always go shorter if I need to. Feed that in. I feel pretty good about the hold on this. I think we have a strong foundation, so I'll keep it at that. That's our greenery then, really gorgeous. So then we can move on to our stems. I'm gonna start with our biggest focal, which is gonna be these gorgeous free spirit roses. Now, remember the rule for your roses, you want them to sit a little bit higher since this is gonna be likely like a table arrangement, you really wanna see them. So I'm gonna trim about half the size of the vase. See, that's gonna sit pretty high. I'm gonna put it to about here. So it's really gonna be a strong focal for the piece. Gonna continue on with that, trimming to a similar size. You wanna space these out just so you can really see them so they're not too condensed. You kind of want every flower to have its own space in the arrangement. You don't want it to be too filled immediately. So we're gonna add this third one, pretty evenly spaced throughout the arrangement, coming to different heights, giving a little bit of dimension. So there you go, we have our larger focals. I'm gonna move on then to the dianthus, the green trick dianthus, because that's kind of our next largest focal then. Trim off some of the leaves just to give you a really clean look. I'm gonna trim this down. So this is more of a filler stem, so you can trim it to different lengths depending on where you want this to fill in the holes of the arrangement. If you look here, there's some spaces in between the roses, and I'm gonna fill those accordingly. So I'm gonna trim this to about this length, fill in this hole. Notice how that's kind of sitting in a really nice place in the arrangement, kind of gives some dimension, everything coming in different sizes. Trim this stem for a clean look. I'm probably gonna put this in the center of the arrangement, and this is gonna blend really gorgeously with the greenery too, kind of give a lot of texture. Put that about there. And we have one more stem. Strip that stem, and then feed that through. I think I'm gonna throw that in over here. Stunning. Like I said, it just kind of is really seamless with the greenery, gives you a really nice look. I'm going to move on to our spray rose because this is a little bit larger. I want to make sure I have room for it to show it off. Take off some of the leaves, give that clean look that we want. And let me kind of eye out my arrangement. I think I'm gonna fill this hole right here. We kind of need a focal there. We want some color, so I'm gonna trim that. Again, a little bit more of a filler stem, so you don't have to worry about trimming that. Just trim to the length that you kind of need it. I'm gonna throw that in there. Kind of liking the length of that, so I think I'm gonna stick with that. I may take out this dianthus, trim her down a little bit. I'll keep it there. Gorgeous, stunning. So let me throw in then the Hypericum berries. These are really, really cute. Just a nice little accent into the arrangement, give some texture. Like I said, it's gonna match that peach really, really well. Throw that in here. I think I'm gonna comment on this side to kind of give some color. Gorgeous, you see that peeking out through there, really fun. Take the last stem of the Hypericum, trim that down, and then fill in any remaining holes that you have in the arrangement. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a 360. We also do, don't forget, we have the fountain grass, so we have that as well to fix any holes that we have. I think I'm gonna put it in there, just to kind of give a little bit of color to this wall of greenery. Stunning. I'm gonna pull this out, the free spirit. And then we can move on then to our fountain grass, a really fun last detail. And we have 3 stems of this, so we can be pretty generous. Let me see. And you're gonna do the same thing with this. This is a little bit of just kind of an accent, a little bit of a filler. I'm gonna throw that in on the side here. And kind of make sure it's supported, make sure it's tucked in because it is a little bit fragile. But I threw that in there for an accent. I'm gonna keep on going. Trim that down. I'm gonna mirror that on this side as well. This is just such a fun little accent to have. And then I think, looking at the arrangement, I think I'm gonna throw one in a little bit closer up top to kind of match what we're doing on the sides. Trim that out. I kind of love the look of the leaves coming out, but if you're going for something that's a little bit more lush, a little bit composed, you can trim those down. That's totally fine. I'll maybe just demonstrate on this stem. Trim it down a little bit. Totally up to you. I'm sure we have some great designers out there. I trust your instincts. So let me see. I think this is where we've arrived. Kind of always make any final edits that you want. Use your design eye, but this is about where I've arrived. Hopefully you've been following along. Really, really gorgeous, like I said, summer arrangement to brighten up your home. And that is it. So thank you so much for joining us for another DIY session. Hopefully we will see you guys again. Thank you.